So
Nice.
your situational awareness. Get this situated. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, I'm so excited, dude. This is awesome. Thank
Me
you very
too.
much for just having a conversation, bro. I really appreciate you. And without further ado, we'd just love to introduce everybody to my friend and a fellow creator, Danny Meese. Meese?
Yes.
Meese? Cool. Danny Meese. Yeah, so it's so nice to have you, dude. Like, I think, again, like I said, thank you so much for this conversation. And just where are you from, dude? What's the like the basis of Danny? Like, where did Danny sprout as a little seed, you know?
Thanks, man. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Uh,
So Tennessee originally,
right on.
but I've been all over. Lived in Alaska for a while, then New York, and then now Colorado.
Alaska?
Yeah,
How long were you in Alaska for?
5 years.
Sheesh. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Were you in Fairbanks?
No, Anchorage and Eagle River.
Okay, cool. I've been to Anchorage once.
Okay, how was it?
Cold.
Yep.
Really cold.
Yeah.
Really cold. Right on Tennessee, Alaska. Cool. And then, so growing up in Tennessee, and obviously, I've met you through social dancing and dancing in general, and we have things in common in terms of just like creating community, and you have a immense amount of creativity in your minds and in your actions. Where did that all start from? Who did you learn all this from? Where did that sort of sprout?
So my family was always pretty musical and creative. We learned instruments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I got into design actually when the iPhone came out. I was like 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, probably a little bit younger than that. And I liked the apps and the minimalism and just how well designed it was. And so I started doing graphic design just for fun before I realized I could even make a career out of it. And then just worked, side projects until got more established in the industry. So that's been the majority of my professional life has been designer, art director, creative director. That's
cool. Doing graphic designs for like promotional stuff, or
yeah, I mean for lots of different businesses and brands and some nonprofit stuff too.
Cool.
But just
sharpening
creating.
the sword.
Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah, sharpening the skills for sure. That's so cool. So with that, with that creative background from your family, and you sort of finding your own path in that creativity with creative design, with graphic design. What sort of happened next? What sort of led you to walk this path now? So you've been in Colorado for 3 years now, you mentioned earlier. Yeah. And since then, what have you sort of been working on?
I moved here to escape the city life of New York because I love nature.
Shouts out the mountains.
Yeah. So I visited once with my sister, had to move here because I just loved the mountains, the vibe. I only spent like a day and a half in Denver, but I went to like, what is it called? The Printed Page, which is a tiny bookstore.
Whoa.
And then Corvus Coffee, and then some mountain stuff. And then I think I went to do Shambi Tea House in Boulder, and all of those experiences were enough for me to, I don't think I even went dancing when I was here on my visit, but I moved here. And then pretty shortly after that, I had been ideating on like a way to reinvent events. Because when I first moved here, I started looking at the different platforms and finding community and events, and I just wasn't happy with what I found. Especially as a host, I found that everything was difficult to use or didn't really expose things well. So, and then even for like some of the platforms, once you become a host, you have to download a different app. They charge you crazy amounts of money, which if you're just a regular person trying to host an event, do you want to pay $30 for like a free barbecue event?
Right.
No,
just to host it.
Yeah. So what's happened to all those event platforms is a lot of them end up being essentially business-oriented services where the businesses are like, oh, of course I'll post my event. The regular people are just like, oh, I'll just text the group chat, It's
right.
And so I started working on the wireframes designs for Ville, which is my like how to actually democratize social in terms of like events. So it's like it takes everything that's strong about social media in terms of interactivity and brings it to events. So it's like it's 5-second clips that you're swiping through. easy to share with someone you don't know. There's a QR code, so you don't have to swap contact info the first time you meet someone.
Yeah.
And also easy to share otherwise. And the idea is that that 5 second clip constraint just gets people to, like, if they throw a dance event, just throw a quick 5 second clip. If they're a yoga instructor, throw a quick clip. People understand immediately what they're getting into and feel that sense of like familiarity of what they know they're getting into. And then it just makes it super easy based on my experience attending events and um, hosting as well. Because, you know, a big problem, we were talking about this earlier, is like, okay, I'm making my flyer. And then you realize like a week later, oh, I forgot to put, you're getting all these messages like, oh, is there a cost? What city is this in?
Yeah.
Someone might have gotten the flyer and they actually live in Chicago. And
Right.
you know, so the idea is that it basically helps people enter all the information they need to give regular people what they need to show up to this event.
Right.
But it's all, I got excited about it because the dance scene in particular, which we know each other from, throws some amazing events, but often didn't. A big complaint I would hear from a lot of dancers, including myself, is like they often don't know where something's happening because maybe the name of the place was there but not the address. They don't know how much it's going to cost.
Right.
They don't know when the end time is. Yeah. And then they also don't know really what type of event it is.
Right.
So it's just helping regular people and small communities especially organize themselves in a very natural way. And then it doesn't like, if someone shares the event, it shares like a ville.social/event and then the actual link to it. And that can be opened by anyone. So they don't have to join the Ville platform. Yeah.
So super accessible to anybody, even if they're just like, I've never heard of it really, but someone's trying to share an event.
Yeah. It could be a private event that's their kid's lemonade stand that they just switch it to like only when you share the link will people view it, and they could send that and like a cute little video of their, you know, daughters waving at their lemonade stand with their like home address, and that could be for their personal connections. Right. Then they can do a public event that shows up in the Discover feed for like anyone in that area to like learn about and attend it or whatever. Yeah, so
cool. So it has that usage can be, you know, done both ways in terms of like if you're trying to do it like a private birthday party, it's like you can make it special and send people something and as an invitation, right? And then on the opposite side of things, like you're saying, you just take it and put it out there for everybody to see, and then everybody can attend whether they want to or not. So really, really cool, super diverse like platform. So that's awesome that, you know, I think when people in the community start making things for the community, they have the community in mind. When you have the community in mind, right? When you have the community in mind, then you really start making change, like tangible change, you know, and the shifts start to happen. So it's really, really cool that this is like your path that you've been walking down. And like, it's, for me personally, it's been really cool to like see it like sort of transpire. And, you know,
thanks, man.
To the stars and back, bro. Like you totally, I love your vision for it. It's just fucking sick. But yeah, so I guess I'll ask you, I really want to ask some questions about Ville in particular. It's like, what was the hardest part about building the app?
It's kind of interesting because I think what is the hardest part is also now one of the easiest parts in terms of like the way it ever has been.
Isn't it interesting how that happens?
Yeah. So like a lot of people are using AI to, we were talking about this earlier, like create art. I mean, that's up in the air. I have seen some AI art that's like highly prompted and like a consistent taste where I'm like, okay, maybe this starts becoming art. But you know, they're kind of, okay, what's a surface level creative task I can have it help me with? Or they're like, oh, give me some suggested restaurants. Or once, the worst meatball I've ever had in my life. Sorry if you're watching, the person that made this meatball, but was this girl at this potluck said, oh yeah, I had AI generate this meatball recipe. Yeah.
No.
And then I was like, okay, cool. Let's see.
Let's try it.
It was not good. I mean, that was ChatGPT 4.0, so maybe with the new versions, it would actually give you a good recipe. But so people do all sorts of crazy stuff with AI just for fun. And now you have it like, you have people, it's like their fake girlfriend on like the Instagram AI and stuff. Yeah. It'll talk to them like it's a real person. Okay. So for me, implementing like from the design all the way to a full stack platform where it works on web, Android, iPhone, um, and has like the database and the server, everything connected, that like full stack that any platform needs. That a lot AI did a lot of the heavy lifting there. I mean, I have enough like development expertise, just from like always being into building things, that helps. But essentially, a lot of the like heavy duty programming is just like done by AI with me reviewing it.
Yeah.
So that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Made that really seamless, and then connecting things. So if I'm like, oh, I need to try connect this, sometimes AI is the thing that tells me, okay, well, you need this framework then, or you need this library. Where in the past, you might have had to have someone with that experience that had
Definitely.
used that tool
Oh,
that could then
definitely.
suggest it to you.
Definitely.
So basically, as someone who likes to build stuff, I can do something more full stack and like that globally works for everyone. Where in the past, a lot of times a founder might have made like just an MVP and then had to like get investors so that they could then hire these big teams to develop their vision. So I
Right.
haven't needed to do that. So that's been great.
Super cool.
Yeah.
And you said do you feel like that was hard at first and then became easier the more you utilized it as like a tool?
Um, I mean, I was using it when it first came out,
Sure.
so I don't know that I would say it was hard, but I'd say that it was kind of limited. Like the first ChatGPT was actually pretty. Actually, I think it's better at programming than a lot of other tasks, because probably because it's a
It's their
computer
yeah,
brain.
it's their
So
yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
like
their native language
the way it
basically.
thinks is in programming.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, something like that. I know that that's not necessarily 100% accurate, but the idea, like, it's a language that it understands.
Right.
So,
Right.
to be honest, I think programming, it was way far ahead with programming than it was image generation, writing human-like sentences
Right.
earlier. I think it was better at programming earlier than it was at some of those more like creative tasks.
Yeah.
So I would say actually, it's kind of funny that I don't hear too many people talking about it. It's probably because they're building super awesome projects and
And
they're
they're
so
just like
focused
running
building
it.
them that
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I don't need to talk to someone about how I'm building it. I'm just building it.
Right.
There's a vibe coding thing now.
Oh, what's that?
Vibe coding is like, you say, oh, I want a game where you just describe something, you feed it to a series of like AI stuff, and then it builds it for you. I mean, I think what makes Ville different is that I'm checking at every level that everything's working well, and then testing it across like many devices.
Yeah,
Like
and then taking suggestions and
yeah,
whatever you yeah.
anyone that's seen me at like a coffee shop working, I have like 4 phones here, 3 phones here. You're like, why does that guy have so many phones? So there's jokes there, I'm sure, but basically, like, that's where I come in, is like some of the not fun stuff of like making sure it's working well for everyone.
Right.
And AI can't really do that well because it doesn't have an interface between like human experience and like in the world and the code. So you still need people to
Interact.
If anything, testers I think are going to start to be more like maybe make more money than some
Sure.
developers
Oh,
in the
definitely.
future, because
You can develop something, but if you don't have tangible proof that something works, or you don't have like it in action, it's like it's not worth.
yeah.
It's not worth anything.
So
Really.
so that yeah, they call that QA in like the industry of like, okay, you have the thing, you've done it, you see that it works, but now you need to test all the different use cases to see if it works in everyday use. And so that is still very much a human piece, and that's what's going to separate a lot of the things built with AI from the ones that work and the ones that don't, is just whether or not they're properly tested in the real world scenarios where you want them to work. And then
Yeah.
I've been fortunate that, the like community, the Ville community in Colorado has been really great in terms of feedback. It helps that I also have posted a lot of events to Reddit and stuff, and you might know that Redditors are like some of the most like, they'll be very, if they have an opinion or know something, they will tell you, like they're very critical,
vocal.
so vocal. So that's been great
Like
because they'll say like,
vocal.
hey, is this thing supposed to work like that? And I'm like, oh, let me take a look at it. No one's mentioned that yet.
Right.
So that's been helpful. And then also just knowing people personally that then use it and go, hey, is this supposed to be working like that? I'm
Right.
like, huh, which, to be honest, most of the bugs I've just noticed myself. Like, I was surprised how out of the box it was working really well for people. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I have to balance like outreach with improvement, because I think at this point I'm keeping it at like an enterprise or corporate level, like working well. But that's not, we have a community of over 5,000 Coloradans now. That's actually like, I want to help people connect, and that's where I actually need to focus more
Yeah.
now, is like continue to like outreach and show people like how it can help them connect to their community.
Yeah.
Because it works great. It's easy to use. You
I
can
agree.
host an event in like
Definitely.
30
Instantaneous.
seconds,
Yeah.
and you just have to verify your email first. And it's something that I think is just ready to continue to help people connect with community. And so that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
And soft launched in Chicago, and then about to do like a bigger push there.
Cool.
And then move on to other cities. But it's still made in Colorado. I have that little made in Colorado sticker on all the share links, because that's like, I want to make it clear. It's like, not to quote the forefathers or whatever, but it's like, of the people, by the people. Like, it's actually the people, like you were saying earlier, like the people in the community making something for the community is going to be more connected to their needs. And so the dance community is a great microcosm of that. And then seeing how people in general want to get out there and connect with other humans and grow their community has been super informational and informative, and like seeing that and then implementing that and improving Ville based on how it actually improves how people connect has been huge. Because like, I don't know what other platforms doing that. I feel like they make an MVP, then they market it, and then they market it more, and they market, like, this is the process. Like, you make an MVP, you already start marketing to people, like, even though it's not fully fledged, you're like, it kind of works, so I'm gonna get some people on it, and MVP, then you improve it.
Multimedia visual platform.
Minimum viable product. It's just the most basic features of your platform or product or thing that you can give, like, show to investors and often the market itself to get them to use it.
That makes sense.
So that's like or most valuable player. Yeah.
Well, no, but like if that's your most valuable player at that time in the startup, right? It's like, how do I get this person to like believe in me? Like, let me throw the MVP at it real quick. Boom. Yeah. And it's like the star of the show, or try it. The goal would be to have it be the star of the show.
So I've done it kind of backwards, where I built it fully, so it fully works for everyone. And I'm just helping people connect already, and I haven't done a marketing
You don't
push.
need any of that, man. You don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need. I think that goes back to a big conversation we had earlier. It's like a lot of the stuff, especially with AI now, it's all accessible. Everything's accessible, and it's so cool to hear how you've utilized this tool and still gave human interaction to it. You know what I'm saying? Where you're sort of picking and choosing your own journey, utilizing it as a tool, vice like an artistic crutch. So cool. So I guess like one last thing before we close up here is, like, if you had somebody who was either getting into art or the dance community or any kind of dream or endeavor, what would be some 2 words of advice or some words of advice for them in terms of like just going into that creative space?
I think it would be the Nike thing we talked about earlier. Like, just do it. Just be prolific. That's a good word for those artists that are struggling to pursue their passion. It's like, it's hard work, man. Like, just do more of it. Just keep do another thing, and then the next thing, and then and then another one. Just keep doing it, because that's what causes improvement. And do it badly at first. Like, do it badly as many times as you can, and then you learn. You learn from that. Until you do it badly, you won't be doing it at all. So just keep doing it badly and have fun with that. Have fun with just the fun. If you actually enjoy that thing, you'll discover it real fast. Because if you didn't enjoy yourself when you did something badly, it might not be for you. Like, if you're not enjoying the process at all, like, maybe try that for like 6 months and then move on to something totally different. If you can't handle like doing something badly for 6 months, because it'll probably be years that you do it badly. But so if you can't do it badly for 6 months, like, just try something else. Maybe you could come back around that first thing if you find yourself called to it, but you have to do it, and maybe not make money doing it. That's another thing, is like, maybe you're working at the like barista job, which fucking cool job, but maybe you're working as a barista, or like I worked in the service industry a lot. and then you're doing your passion for that 6 months, like staying up late at night or getting up early, whatever, doing shit tons of
Grinding.
stuff,
Yeah.
just doing it, and sure, showing it to people, but I think it's more just important about doing it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you probably should show stuff to people, but you should be doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and then making it happen. And if you don't do that, like, or if you, most people don't do that. So if you do that, you will be above
Yeah.
and beyond 99.9% of
Exactly.
anyone in the West.
Right.
There's a bit more hustle when you get outside of the US, I found. Like, Portuguese guy I knew that moved to New York, like he went from, you know, wine bar job
Yeah.
and like working some odd sales jobs to like making, you know, well into six figures doing sales for like creative work for like within a couple of years. So
That's awesome.
part of that I think is because he's an immigrant. Like, he had the hustle.
It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. But so I think especially as Americans, like, there's like that desire to be comfortable, which is like, I want to be paid right away. It's like, well, maybe not. Maybe you're gonna suck at first. So just keep doing it.
Right. Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me, Danny. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your friendship, and I look forward to seeing how Ville unfolds. And I can't wait to, dance more with you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, bro.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate
This has been great.
You
too.
Thank you. Hell yeah. How was that?
Yeah, good.
Decent, easy, smooth.